This is case of double inlet single ventricle. So this is the apical fourth chamber view. I just want to reduce the speed. At half a speed you can see. So this is left atrium, this is right atrium, and this whole ventricle is of left ventricle morphology. So single ventricle of LV morphology, left ventricle type morphology. So this case has got only single ventricle, and right ventricle outlet portion is seen when we see how the pulmonary artery arises from that ventricle. Then only right ventricle outlet portion will be seen with large VST, so ultimately it looks like it is case of single ventricle. You see this is pulmonary artery, this is aorta. So aorta and pulmonary artery are normally related. That means one is crossing each other. That means they are not parallel, that is they are perpendicular to each other. Same thing. This is how the ventricle is contracting. Now see in this image, this is aorta. This is aorta and this is pulmonary artery. This is right ventricle outlet portion, because this portion gives origin of main pulmonary artery. So this is right ventricle outlet portion, and this is, you can say this is the VST. Obviously this is the main ventricle, this is right ventricle outlet portion, and this is main pulmonary artery that is anterior to aorta. Normally that is normal finding, and they are perpendicular to each other. When you see the longitudinal portion of pulmonary artery, then you will find transverse section of aorta. That means they are perpendicular to each other. That is normal finding. So in this image you see both aorta and pulmonary artery. Aorta is posterior to pulmonary artery, and pulmonary artery arises from this portion. This is right ventricle outlet portion. This is pulmonary artery arising from main single part of single ventricle. So this case is quite simple case. Double inlet single ventricle. Single ventricle is of left ventricular morphology. Obviously ventricle large in size. You can see this is IVC, this is aorta, this is right portion liver, left portion has a stomach. So situs, solitus, normally related aorta and IVC. So relation wise, this is the case situs, solitus, levocardia, normally related IVC and aorta. Ultimately only the abnormal finding is the single ventricle. That is say the very large VST, and right ventricle has almost no development except right ventricle outlet portion. This view also shows parasternal longus view. So this image has got both the aorta and pulmonary artery. How it comes from ventricle. This is left atrium, left ventricle, aorta. This is right ventricle outlet and pulmonary artery. You see, this is pulmonary valve. This is pulmonary valve. This is RV outlet. This is pulmonary valve, and this is main pulmonary artery. So this is RV outlet. This is pulmonary valve. This is main pulmonary artery. So intermittently you get image of aorta coming from ventricle and pulmonary artery coming from ventricle. This is aorta. How aorta is coming from left ventricle, or main ventricle is said. This is right ventricle outlet. Obviously this should be VST, and this is main pulmonary artery. This is pulmonary valve. Signing part. This is pulmonary valve. This is the case, the double inlet single ventricle. Again the same thing. So I'm going to show you again the apical fourth chamber view. Very small ASD in this case. This is ASD, very small. This is apical fourth chamber view. This is left atrium. This is left atrium. This is main ventricle. This is right atrium. So this is mitral valve. This is tricuspid valve. This is main whole ventricle, and this whole ventricle is of morphology of LV type, left ventricle. You see, the whole ventricle does not have any moderator band, so not very coarse structure. So this is double inlet single ventricle. Thank you.